With the nights being the way they were, it was likely a good idea to take the chance to recuperate. Both Celine and Raul had already recovered from earlier. Sensing that someone was looking in their direction, both Celine and Raul turned their heads to see James looking at them. The two gave a slight wave to indicate that they noticed. James returned the wave. At least the request, so far, has been fairly easy, Maya said. But is that because there's something worse in our future? James said. There's still the thing that seems to stalk us in this place. It's likely the reason why we haven't encountered monsters. Maya nodded in agreement. That's what I'm worried about. But it's not like we can afford to fail, even if it was this early. No matter what, we need to complete this request. At least we're able to hang out like this, Maya brightened. I don't remember the last time when we could spend time with one another. James chuckled at the change in mood, but appreciated it. You make it sound like you wouldn't get bored if it was just the two of us, James teased her. Maya stuck out her tongue at him. I do sometimes wonder what's happening in the city, James said. He had only seen it in passing, but based on what the robot Melody had said to him and the others when they entered the underground city for the first time, the city was filled with areas to keep the residents occupied. I heard that there are new movies that are released fairly regularly, Maya said. They are completely different from what anyone has seen before. There are even snacks that are unique to the underground cities. Raising an eyebrow, James asked, Where did you find this out? Just browsing through the forums. A few adventurers occasionally go into the city to check out what's happening, and they talk about what they saw. Maya smiled. Reading about interesting things happening in the city made me curious. Then, I think about how I'd lose valuable time leveling, she sighed. You're just as much of a workaholic as I am, James nudged Maya with an elbow. Tilting her head to crack her neck, Maya nodded. Unfortunately, that's the case. Though I'm curious, I don't feel like I could relax in such an environment. I guess that's the reason why none of us in our group have gone back to the portal, even if just in the Adventurers Guild section of the underground city. That was indeed the case for all of them in the group. None of them were interested in the luxurious world that existed outside the Adventurers Guild. Even he had done some research on the forums to see what types of things were happening in the real world. But based on what was posted, none of them had interested him enough that he'd want to waste precious time. Maya reached out and took James's hand. Feeling the warmth of Maya's hand, James couldn't help but feel comforted. Even if he wasn't interested in the comfortable life that many of the residents of the underground city took part in, it didn't mean that James didn't appreciate having Maya by his side. She made the harsh environment bearable. The two continued another lap around the camp, just enjoying the company of the other. James would occasionally search for any signs of monsters, while casually walking with Maya. Even with the strange atmosphere of the forest, it was still a peaceful night. While walking with her, James smiled. I'm a pretty lucky guy, he thought to himself. What are you grinning for? Maya looked at him, clearly suspicious of James. Nothing, James laughed. Though he enjoyed her flustered expression when he showed her affection, James also enjoyed the one she was showing him currently. Sensing that he was teasing her, she puffed her cheeks.